Wise. You come when you are needed, or when someone needs you.
He looked toward the castle on the horizon.
Haita sat by the fire with his travel journal open. The journal was 3 times thicker than the one she remembered, stuffed with loose pages and bookmarks and what appeared to be a praise flower between chapters 7 and 8.
He looked up and smelled the same. Gentle, knowing smile, but deeper lines framed his eyes, and his hair had gone gray at the temples.
Welcome back.
He said.
I would offer tea, but we are rationing.
He paused.
I have been saving your blessing there, for when morale needed it most.
He looked at her.
I tend this carafice.
Freyan emerged from a tent carrying a stack of skulls and stopped not dramatic. She simply stopped the way a clock stops, complete and total stillness.
She looked at Black Princess with those ancient eyes, and Lock Princess saw something she had never seen in them before.
Relief.
You came back.
Freyan said, and her voice carried the same devastating overstatement it always did, as if the sentence was about the weather and none about a girl falling through time to find her.
Your timing is either perfect or terrible. We march on the castle at dawn.
La Princess looked at each of them, really looked. Aizen's new scars and repair scarred armor, Hemeral's thinner frame and heavier eyes, Heiter's gray temples and overstuffed Juno, Freyan unchanged.
On the surface, but carrying a tension in her shoulders that had not been there in the peaceful version of her. La Princess knew. 10 years?
They had been fighting for 10 years. Sleeping in ravines and eating rations and watching the world burn around them. And they were still here, still together, still smiling when a lagging princess fuck.
You all get the sky. So, Lucky Zesad, sitting down by the fire with the casual confidence of someone who absolutely did not feel casual or confident. You are about to fight the Demon King, the actual Demon King, the final boss, the big bad smile. Himur sat beside her.
敵肉に礼あったてもろ。One my day of marching.
Black Princess stared at the castle on the horizon. It looked close enough to read with a rock, but she suspected distance was another thing. The Demon King's magic distorted.
And you have a plan? Himur smile did not matter.
I always had a plan.
Aizen sat from across the fire.
His plan is walking in the front door.
Himur said.
See? Plan.
The wind shifted and brought the smell of ash and something sweeter underneath. Corrupted flowers. She realized roses that had been twisted by demonic magic into something that still tried to cling.
Tea bloomed alone, petals facing inward, thorns spiraling like staircases to nowhere.
She found one growing between the rocks at the edge of camp, a red rose with black veins pulsing faintly with residual magic. It was horrible and beautiful, and she could not stop looking at it. Freya appeared beside her.
The correction is aesthetic.
She says,
The Demon King does not destroy beauty. He redesigns it. That distinction is what makes him dang.
Tomiyama-jin! La Princess said. Frame was quiet for a long time, the kind of long time that from an elf could mean either profound contemplation or my boredom.
He is old.
Huyen Piney said,
Not old like me. Old at the thing. I am afraid of becoming intelligent, patient, and completely certain that the suffering he causes is justified by a philosophy none of us can argue with, because it is not long, it is just incomplete.
She paused.
That is the most dangerous kind of enemy. The kind that makes you doubt whether fighting is the right choice.
La Princess looked at the castle again, its towers like black teeth against the bruised sky.
And what does he want?
Freren said,
That is the problem. He wants exactly what we want. A world without suffering. He just believes the fastest path there is removing the species that causes it.
Like Princess believed.
Does he mean humans? Princess!
He means everyone. In Koijiman's, his M-gang is silence. Perfect, eternal, empty silence. And was about this?
She looked at the corrupted rose.
He might not be wrong that it would be peaceful.
Night fell like a curtain, and the stars appeared, but even the stars looked different here. Dimmer, filtered through the haze of a decade of magical warfare.
Lakum. Sukin. Lasku.
Laugh Princess lay on her back on a flight rock and tried to count them. She got the 47 to go Hemojonha. He read on beside her and said,
We used to do this every night during the first year. Count stars. Haita would name constellations after desserts. Aizen would fall asleep in under a minute. Fly on McCrack. Haita and those constellations already had names.
He paused.
Somewhere around year 4, we stopped.
We did not say why, and she did not ask.
Are you scared?
She whispered.
Himmel lived at the stores, and his expression was the most honest she had ever seen it.
On a single day,
He said,
And then he smiled, and the honesta folded back into words.
Moscaret and break Anusen muscle used differently.
I'm terrified of Lizinda.
He nodded toward the camp where Aizen was maintaining his axe, and Haider was riding by fire night.
And that terror is what makes me strong enough to walk in front.
He looked at her.
Tonight, I said that. The Ekinta I feel.
She said, I think they know. He says,
For me. But the performance matters.
The market bracelet on her wrist caught the firelight, and Himo noticed it.
That is from the Seki market.
He said,
We have not been there yet.
Lockpish's blood went cold. She had forgotten. For him, this was before Arc 1, before the quest for the gardening spool, before the toll road giant and the riddle ring and the frost flowers.
"Oh, that was his future."
A future she knew and he did not. She pulled her sleeve over the bracelet. It is just jewelry, she said.
Hime was steady for a moment.
You are a terrible liar.
He said gently.
But we're not precious. Some things are better as surprises.
She almost told him. Almost said, you will search for a gardening spell and find a giant with a bad fit and explore a frozen market and watch Fry and Cry in a field of flowers. She grew from 800 years of learniness.
But the words stuck in her throat, because telling him the future meant telling him he had one. And if he had a future, that meant he would survive tomorrow. And she could not promise that could not
So she said,
I am glad I am here, Anki said.
So,
And the stars kept company so behind. She slept badly, dreaming of things she could not name, and woke to the sound of Aizen sharpening his axe, which apparently he did before dawn because of course he did. The rhythmic scrape of stone on metal was the most Aizen sound in the world, patient and relentless and utterly certain of its purpose. She wrapped the blanket tighter and watched him work, his hands moving with the precision of a craftsman who had been doing this particular task for 40 years, which he had.
Morning.
He said without looking up.
We march in an hour. Eat something.
Breakfast was hard bread and dry meat and a cup of water heated over the fire.
Latsori wedgings.
Haita called it because he had added a single dried herb to the water that made it taste faintly of mint. His journal entry for the morning read,
Day 3651. Was bread that could stop a sword and meat that predates several kingdoms. The princess ate it without complaint, which means she is either brave or her world has worse food. Mario status. Koshishi Atamastic. Water. Ash.
They broke camp with military efficiency. 10 years of practice had turned 5 people into a machine. Aizen pets no habige.
暇ちくてペラ見て。
Heika blast the pass ahead. Frame evade has spoke crashings.
And Lack Princess tried to form the tent. Failed, tried again, failed worse, and eventually Aizen folded it with one hand while carrying everything else with the other.
She sighed.
I am hoping. She said. Aizen said.
You are keeping us company. That is different and more important.
She stared at him.
That was 3 sentences from Aizen. That was a monologue.
The march toward the castle took them through the blighted lowlands, a landscape that had once been farmland. She can still see the ghost of it. Stone walls that had bordered fields, foundations where cottages had stood, a well with its buckets still hanging. The people were gone, evacuated or worse, but their accents was louder than any battle. But their absence was louder than any battle. La Princess stepped over a child's wooden toy half buried in the ash, and her chest tightened so hard she had to stop walking. Hime peta handa hashoda.
This is why we fight.
He said.
Not for glory, not for songs. For the people who had to leave their toys behind.
The closer they got, the more the land wolfed. Trees grew in spirals, their branches reaching downward into the earth instead of upward toward the sky. Streams ran uphill or sideways or not a well. Frozen meat flew like someone had paused the river and forgotten to press play. Lock Princess felt an uneasy kinship with the broke but moments. I know how you feel! She whispered to it. Feeling crushed her.
You are talking to water.
La Princess said. Ito spafu sorotaete.
Fryan's expression did not change, but the faintest exhalation through her nose suggested she was amused.
They passed a field of corrupted flowers. Roses with black veins and inverted petals. Lilies that glowed faintly in the gray light, like small trached ghosts. Daisies whose centers were dark and spiral.
Inji inward like mathematical equations that soaked into sadness. Free and stop. And studied them for a long time.
He could have destroyed them.
She says.
But he remade them instead.
Waste and destruction. La Princess.
Yes.
Freron says.
Because destruction admits that the thing mattered enough to erase. Corruption says it did not matter enough to leave alone.
She picked a twisted rose and tucked it into her bag.
For research,
she said. But her hands were very gentle with it. By late afternoon, the castle filled the entire northeastern sky. Up close. It was even more unsettling than from a distance. The obsidian walls were not rough or crude. They were polished to a bitter finish that reflected a distorted version of the landscape.
The towers were geometrically perfect, each one a different mathematical shape. Hexagonal, octagonal, one that appeared to have more sides than geometry should allow.
And the gates, the main gates, were standing open, wide open, as if the Demon King was either supremely confident or politely inviting them in.
Knowing him,
Fryan said.
Both.
They made final temp a mile from the gates, close enough to see the torchlight flickering inside the castle, but far enough that the castle's defensive magic could not reach them. Or so Freyren said. If Luck Princey noticed that the elf had set off 7 different barrier wards around the campsite, not the behavior of someone who felt safe. The last night before the biggest battle in a decade, and the party sat in a circle around the fire that Himmel had built larger than usual because Himmel understood that some nights needed a bigger feat. Noppa wants Pappo the right. La princess sat between Haita and Aising, her knees pulled up to her chest, watching the firelight play across the faces of 4 people who were about to try something that most of the world considered impossible.
The Demon King had not been defeated in over 1,000 years of attempts. Entire armies had broken against its castle walls.
Legendary heroes had entered those gates and never returned. And these 4, a vain swordsman, a minimalist elf, a quiet dwarf, and a dry priest were going to walk in tomorrow like it was any other Tuesday.
She wanted to say something profound,
but all that came out was, "You know this is insane, right?" Himuract.
おつるか。That is what made it an adventure.
The fire burned low, and the party settled into the rhythms of a final night. Aizumon thanked his ex. Haito Purig, Friaring Rigs goes by Kongun Light.
Himmel stared at the castle, and his face carried the particular stillness of a man who was making his peace with whatever tomorrow held.
La Princess watched them all and felt the iron calm pulse warm against her wrist, not pulling her away this time, holding her here as if even the magic knew she needed to witness this. 5 people on the edge of the end of everything, and the fire and the stars and the long quiet hours before dawn. Act neat, the last campfire nobody slept. La Princess knew this because she did not sleep either, and every time she opened her eyes, someone else was also pretending to be a yeet while clearly being awake. Aiden was lying perfectly still, but his fingers were tapping a riddle on his axe handle. Haita was flat on his back with his journal on his chest, rising and falling with breaths that were too measured to be unconscious. Freren had not even pretended. She sat cross-legged, staring at the castle with the focus of someone solving an equation that used the entire sky as a chalkboard. The only one who looked peaceful was Himo, who had fallen asleep smiling, which was either inspiring or deeply suspicious. Morning came gray and early, and Kim awoke first or planned to.
He stood up, stretched his arms overhead, and said,
Good morning, Hires. Today we saved a life.
He said it the way Somayos might say.
Burst the swords.
Aizen opened one eye.
It is not money. It is still gray.
Himo said,
Every morning is gray. I jimontari. Thus, does not diminish the heroism.
Haida said from his bedroll.
Can we save the world after breakfast?
La Princess.
Is there breakfast?
Himo produced a bag from behind his back.
I has been saving these.
He opened it.
6 honey cakes wrapped in wax paper.
The group stared at them like they were holy relics.
Where?
Aizen said. And a single word carried 14 layers of accusation. Himyo's smile was radiant.
I bought them in Olat's village 3 weeks ago. I was waiting for the right moment.
Haito sat up.
You had honey cakes for 3 weeks and said nothing while we ate military rations.
Kimo distributed them with the ceremony of a king bestowing Nike hats.
The sacrifices of Lilus of Amini unburied. 月がここりと話を終わるみたい。
Aizen bit into his cake and made a song that can only be described as a dwarf experiencing a religious moment. La Princess ate heads in 2 bites and seriously considered the dikimaric applications of stealing Friarans. Friarin Okia honey cake and small precise bites while reading a scroll.
She freezed both simultaneously.
Which Left Princess suspected was a 1,000-year-old skill of perfectly timed multitasking.
Heme watched her and said,
Did you enjoy that?
Frioren licked up.
The cake. Oh, the skull.
Birds.
The skull contained a sealing spell I have been looking for since the 3rd century, and the cake was adequate.
Heno clutched his chest.
Arigokai. I saved those cakes for 3 weeks through rain, through combat, through Aizen, searching my pack for spare rations, and they are allocated.
Freyan almost smiled,
They were good cakes, Hima.
And his entire face lit up like she had just declared him king of the world.
With breakfast handled, Himmel did what Himmel always did before a major event. He prepared the speech.
He stood on a raised rock overlooking the camp, culled his throat, adjusted his collar, pushed his hair back, and launched into what was clearly meant to be an address to a massive army.
Friends, comrades, heroes of the Uram, today we stand at the threshold of Tosuni. Behind us, the wall we swore to protect. Before the darkness we swore to defeat.
His voice carried across the empty ravine with the power and conviction of a man addressing thousands. This audience was 4 people and a fire that was going out. Aizen was sharpening his axe, the same axe he had sharpened last night and the night before and every night for 10 years. Haita was pouring the last of the water into a pot with the careful attention of a man performing sagari. Freeland had opened the second scroll and was comparing it to the first with an expression of academic intensity that suggested the feat of the world was less interesting than footnote 7. And Lad Princess was trying to fold her blanket into her pack and losing the battle comprehensively. Himu did not notice the lack of attention, or if he did, he chose not to let it diminish his performance.
We have walked 1,000 miles together.
Himu continued, gesturing at the collage with the kind of sweeping out movement that cake designers dream about.
We have faced down giants and sorcerers and that one innkeeper who tried to choose us double because we quote looked important unquote. We have played together, laughed together. And yes, Haita, we have argued about whether divine magic or arcane magic makes better campfire starters. The answer is neither. It is Aizen with 2 rocks and spite.
Aizen did not lick up, but said,
Flint, not spite.
Himu said,
おつんからでクリントand 毎度お直す。But they...
Himo's voice shifted, still theatrical. But underneath up, something yield pushed through like sunlight through a crack.
Today is the day the story we started writing. 10 years ago, which is its final chapter. And I want you to know, every phase was worth it. Every monster, every detour, every cold night and bad meal. And Haiter's truly terrible attempt at cooking fish at one time.
Haito said quietly.
The fish was fine.
Aizen said,
The fish was a war crime.
Haita said,
It was seasoned.
Aizen said.
So is poison.
Himu waited patiently for the fish boat to subside, which took longer than expected.
Ikui,
Himu said,
is that I will not trade a single day of this journey for anything, not for a